So since the subject is a little complex and it's maybe harder to see, acknowledge and accept for some people, or harder to tune into, I've decided to use for this particular video access consciousness questions and clearings to help you with that. Next question. In how many ways and for how many reasons have you appreciated yourself to be better, nicer, kinder, or morally superior to your narcissistic parent? Okay, notice what happens when we ask these questions. So everything that comes up now that you perceive, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, Kokoro, nine, shows, boys, and beyonds. Hello there, this is Susanna. Welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And if you think you're ready to have some real coaching with me and reach this breakthrough, contact me using the links that I've added in the comments section below. Now, this video is part of a mini series that I've started as a support for those who were raised by a narcissistic parent. And for this reason, you might want to watch at least the two previous ones, which are about, first one, I think it's acceptance, and then, yes, the self-esteem, before doing this short exercise that I propose for today, or not. You can try to start with this one. So this short video will be focusing on the victim mentality, and it will be a little bit different than the other ones. And if you're not familiar with access consciousness, you might actually find this thing kind of weird. And I agree with you, but listen till the end and you'll see. So we have mentioned the victim mentality briefly in the last EFT session that we did together. But this time we will give it full attention, as it's an important branch of what I call the tree that we want to remove from or with the roots. Actually, it's more of a gigantic bad herb because the poor trees are innocent. So if you're not interested in the following short explanation that I'm going to give about the victimhood, you can simply skip this part and go right into the clearings at the minute link that I share in the comment section. So here are some points very briefly. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but very briefly, here are some points that I want to share with you in regards to the victim mentality that you might want to take into consideration when dealing with or trying to heal yourself from this experience in your life. So first of all, seeing your own victim mentality or victim role from close is not blaming yourself or thinking that it is your fault. So I want to be very clear about that. It is simply seeing beyond the illusion of this scenario and coming out into the light of the truth. Secondly, being in this victim position or using this victimhood strategy may generate certain attitudes or behaviors or emotions in your life that are not healthy, and they're not good for your heart and soul. And the first one that I'm thinking of, and I have noticed it in myself, is this feeling of moral superiority, right? Of course, I am better. I'm in the position to feel angry because I am the victim here. I was abused. I was treated inappropriately. Therefore, I'm better than they are. So it's not easy to see and accept that, but it's very healthy to do so. And then, of course, we have the remorse, the anger, the frustration that may have built inside since you were little and might express in other areas of your life or in other relationships, or even worse, towards yourself. In any case, some strong negative emotions may occur and manifest most of the time unconsciously. So if you happen to have this unexplainable negative attitude towards yourself, well, this could be actually repressed anger. Moreover, according to psychologists, this victimhood, this strategy, sometimes serves as a framework for people to build their insecure relationships on. So let me say that again. In other words, insecure people can use victimhood as a framework where they can actually project all their insecurities, their fear of rejection, and of course, their intense negative emotions on others. It's so much easier to do all that, to project your fears when you're the victim, right? It is easier to project your fears and insecurities in this context because you have a very good excuse. It's a bit tricky, I know. And I'm sure that you have at least observed that in others, and how heavy and so uncomfortable it is when someone plays the victim with you and projects on you their own unconscious need for rejection. So yes, it is a complex web of interdependent behavioral habits, and also this victim, aggressor, and savior triangle. And this is why I chose to address them little by little, step by step, one by one, in small doses. So since the subject is a little complex and it's maybe harder to see, acknowledge, and accept for some people, or harder to tune into, I've decided to use for this particular video access consciousness questions and clearings to help you with that. EFT is great when you can tune into that particular emotion, feeling, belief, or memory that you want to clear. Well, access works whether you are aware of it or not. Actually, it's even better when you're not aware of it. So those of you who haven't heard of access, it's quite of an efficient method put together by these two smart guys, Gary and Dane. You can look them up and learn some more. So for the following part, you have nothing to do but to listen and agree mentally or out loud to yourself to do these clearings that I'm going to read for you. And I will guide you as we do the first clearing. You'll understand what I mean. Also, you might not get the sense of all these questions. I mean, you might not understand them. And this is great. It's fantastic. You don't need to, as we are addressing them to your unconscious mind, to that part of your mind that knows all these answers and already asks these questions. So just sit, relax, and enjoy the flight. So let me get the questions and let's start. What energy, space, and consciousness can you now be in order to access, process, and release safely and with total ease everything that you are ready to release in regards to this victim strategy that you have adopted with your mom or dad? And everything that does not allow that, will you be willing to release and uncreate it all? So this is the moment when you are asked to agree. And this is the moment when you should say a yes if you want me to do the clearing for you. And I'm going to do it, which is this: right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine, just boys and beyonds. Let's read that again. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be right now in order to access, process, release safely and with total ease everything that you are ready to release in regards to this victim strategy that you've built with your mom or dad? So everything that does not allow that to happen, will you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, just boys and beyonds. Next question. How have you made the relationship to your narcissistic mom or dad and your victimhood to be something which is right, good, perfect, or correct? Everything that this brings up and everything that you have done unconsciously to make this victimhood correct, right, good, benefic, important, necessary, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, 9 inches, boys and beyonds. How have you made the relationship with your mom or dad and your victim strategy to be something wrong, terrible, awful, vicious, mean, or immoral? So everything that you've done to have all these judgments, these negative judgments on this relationship and on your victimhood, will you be willing to release and uncreate it all right now? Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, just boys and beyonds. Next. How much do you feel that your parent was wrong, immoral, awful, terrible, mean, or evil for what they did or what they said to you all of these years? And everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, 9 inches, boys and beyonds. To what extent do you think or feel that your parent was good, right, correct, necessary, or useful for what they did or said to you all of these years? Or everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. Okay, the next question is kind of important. So how much of making your parent wrong is the locking point of view in your universe? In other words, what if you judging them being so mean and evil is actually what locks you and keeps you within this limitation? So everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. In how many ways and for how many reasons have you attempted with no success to change your mom or dad, to make them better, to bring them to the right path, to make them be better persons? And I'm smiling not because it's funny, but because it's funny how hard we try. So everything that this brings up within yourself, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. Let me ask this one again because it feels charged. So in how many ways and for how many reasons have you attempted with no success to change your mom or dad, to make them better, to bring them to the right path, to make them be better person? And everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. Next question. In how many ways and for how many reasons have you appreciated yourself to be better, nicer, kinder, or morally superior to your narcissistic parent? Okay, notice what happens when we ask these questions. So everything that comes up now that you perceive, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. So in how many ways and for how many reasons have you appreciated yourself to be better, nicer, kinder, and morally superior to your narcissistic parent? Everything that this brings up, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. So we all know that all judgments are basically a lie. And you are holding this lie in place that they were wrong for the things they did. So how much of that is institutionalizing the lies that are running your life? As you're trying to fold your parent into this wrongness, you are locking it into yourself. So everything that this brings up, so everything that you've done, and everywhere that you have locked your parent into wrongness for the eternity, this is a very important word. Would you release and uncreate it all right now? Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. So in how many ways and for how many reasons have you locked your parent into wrongness for the eternity? And what if by locking them, folding them into this wrongness, you're actually locking yourself? Whatever this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyond. So I know that this could be intense. You might have some sensations in your body, but it's all good. Listen to the following one. How much have you been destroying yourself in order to keep the limitation of this situation and the victimhood in place? Everything that this brings up, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. And please note that I'm not going to add the questions on the screen because I don't want you to read. I want you to just, even if you cannot focus on what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It actually works even better because we are working right now with your unconscious mind. Next question. In choosing the victimhood strategy, how many controls, definitions, meaning, significance, projections, rejections, manipulation strategies, form structures, linearities, and concentricities are you using to keep this victimhood in place? So everything that this question brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, anxious, boys and beyonds. Next question. In being the victim of this narcissistic abuse, what choices have you made? And everything that this brings up, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, purple, all nine shores, boys and beyonds. Listen to the next one. In choosing the victimhood, what creations created the commitments to the creation of your limitation. Don't worry, I'm going to read this one twice. Everywhere where you have committed to the creation of the limitation of the situation, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. So let's ask this again. In choosing the victimhood, what creations created the commitment to the creation of your limitation? So everywhere where you have committed to the creation of the limitation in this situation, in this relationship, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. Next question. What is meaningful about being a victim of a narcissist? Everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. Question. What is meaningless about you being a victim of a narcissist? Whatever this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. Next question. How much have you been trying to handle this aspect of your life in regards to you being a victim of a narcissist with no success? So let me ask again. How much have you been trying to handle you being the victim of a narcissist with no success? Yeah, live that, allow that frustration to come up. Everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all now, safely, in all security? That's right. Right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. Listen to the next one. What secret agenda with the victimhood have you based only on feeding into what your parent couldn't receive themselves? Whatever this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. Question. All the suppressed and repressed anger and frustration that you have accumulated in your mind and body, in your energy fields, and in your life for everything your mom or dad didn't have the capacity to deliver, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. What secret agenda with holding on to the wrongness of everything that your parent did and said to you are you using to maintain and entrain the perpetual separation and wrongness of you that you're choosing? And everything that this brings up, would you be willing to release and uncreate it all right now with total ease and in all security? And everything that does not allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, popular, anxious, boys, and beyonds. All right. So this is just a sort of a glimpse of what can be done with access consciousness. But these clearings have power to process a lot within your inner universe. I have no idea how it works, but it works, and that's what matters. You need to listen to these clearings many times. Listen twice a day for a while. Play it when you cook, play it when you do your gym in the morning, when you clean the house, when you take a bath. Let it play there in the background, in a loop, as you're doing something else. And please share with me how this worked for you. And write me if you have additional ideas or comments or aspects that you'd like me to address through the next sessions, the next videos. And thanks for watching. Please like and share if you appreciate this video, and subscribe if you haven't done that already, probably already subscribed. And contact me when you're ready to have some real super cool personal coaching with me. And I'll see you next time.